And we are back with my guest credit expert, Carolyn Roome. Welcome back, Carolyn.
Oh, hello. How are you doing, Yvonne?
Oh, I'm doing great. Glad you can join us with such an informative subject, especially in the economy today. This is information I'm quite sure that everyone would love to hear.
Absolutely. They need to hear this.
Oh, we had such a good time the last time you were on. We talked about collections and hospital bill collections especially, and how they affect your credit and how you can handle those. But today we're going to talk about some of the new stuff that's happening in the credit world and a little bit about foreclosures. So let me just start off by asking you, why is this knowledge so important to have in credit restoration?
Well, it's our right. The government expects us to know what's going on here and how to protect ourselves.
Right.
They've given us laws to protect ourselves. Now, the whole thing is they've written these laws to where half the time you can't understand them. So we went in and we've literally put them into layman's terms so people can understand what's going on and be able to use those statutes and regulations and be able to have the information taken off of their credit reports. There are some things that actually creditors are going in and they are suing after the statute of limitations is up, depending on each state. And those can be taken right out of court. So there's a lot of things here that we give you ammunition to go in and literally protect your credit and protect what is yours.
Now, is that why the attorneys do so much of a better job than we do, because they can understand all that difficult language?
Oh, you bet. If you want to pay an attorney every time.
Right.
See, that's why we try to bring it down to where the people can do it. I mean, even FTC sat there, has it stated on their website, you can do it yourself. We would much rather you do it yourself. And that's the whole thing. We are teaching and training how to do it yourself. We do have the online letters, which are there, that help them and guide them clear through the whole process. Now, they have to print them, and they're going to have to send them out through the mail and wait the time. But if you try to go to these credit repair companies, what happens is, they go ahead and dispute everything at once, and of course, it makes your credit look good for the moment. But it doesn't take care of the problem. Not only that, they linger on. And if you don't know how to do it right, these third-party creditors can turn around and put it back on your credit and keep ruining your credit.
Right. Well, what I like about your program is that you put the law right in there. It's not like some of these other programs that you go to. And even when you go to the credit bureaus, they have the online dispute letters. I mean, they're not going to give you any laws or anything. They're just going to give you these standard generic letters, which doesn't really mean very much because you're not putting no force behind it.
That's correct.
Yeah, so that's
not only that,
great.
I mean, there's a very easy 3-step process. Sometimes it leads into a step 2 of step 2 because of the creditor or the collection agency that actually has the remark on your credit.
Right.
So, we help you go clear through all of this. We show you the avenues in order to take care of it right. We even show you how to negotiate with collection agencies.
Fantastic.
Because there's some things that are yours, period. But you can negotiate with them and literally settle it for way less. And not only that, in a lot of cases, the way you present yourself, which we have it in our courses too, is how you come across to them and how you even put it in your statement letter or settlement letter that they will take it off your credit report.
Right.
And they can legally do this. If the federal government can do that on the student loans, they can do it on a civilian, just on a regular business attitude. They can do this. Don't ever let them say they can't do it. They can.
Wow. One of the things that I wanted to talk about the last time you was on that we didn't really get a chance to really hit on too much, and that was foreclosures. It's so questionable now how it's affecting credit. A lot of people are saying, I'm in foreclosure at this process. I may have this option. I may not want to take that option. How is this all going to affect my credit? Well, some people might say, oh, your credit's already messed up.
It is.
Yeah, and so I want to add, that's my question to you. Does it make a difference if someone says, okay, I'm going to do a short sale, or I don't want to do the short sale, I'm going to do a deed in lieu of foreclosure? Does it really make a difference?
No, it doesn't. The only thing that really makes a difference, well, there's several different states that are getting really fed up with this, and as a matter of fact, all 50 attorney generals came in and negotiated with the banks, where there's going to be a keys for cash system set up where it's up to $21,000.
Mm-hmm.
This is to keep all of us civilians from going and suing them.
Ah.
Right now in Michigan, they're even doing a class action lawsuit for illegal foreclosures.
Wow.
And it's $100 million they want.
Wow.
And $300 million in punitive damages.
And they put these programs out here, and nobody gets a modification.
That's right. The HAMP has been a joke. All of them have been a big joke.
Exactly.
The right hand doesn't know what the left hand's doing. I've seen people in doing negotiation, and they're talking to the foreclosure or in lieu of deed or whatever it is.
Deed in lieu, yeah.
Right. Mm-hmm. And they turn around, and next thing you know, they're foreclosed on.
Right.
And they haven't even gotten an answer on their modification.
Right. It's so much involved with that. You know, I said short sale, like I expect everybody to know what I mean by short sale. Some people probably do if they're listening to this and they says, okay, I've been informed because I'm in that process. But tell everyone what a short sale is and tell them what a deed in lieu is.
Well, a deed in lieu is where you're more or less foreclosed.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And you have to leave your home.
Okay.
And what happens, even in a short sale, now a short sale, you have somebody come in and buy the property for less than it is worth.
Right.
But it's actually less than what the mortgage is.
The mortgage balance is.
Right.
Right.
Because what it's worth is probably half of what their loan amount is.
Right, yeah.
But in a lot of instances, when you do this, you get a 1099-C.
Right, exactly.
And you're going to have to take that off of your taxes at the end of the year.
And doesn't that also apply with the deed in lieu? I mean, if you turn your house over to the bank and they sell it for less than what your balance is, don't you still have the tax ramifications to deal with?
That's correct.
Wow.
And they're now seeing this problem, and they've noticed the mortgage is being more than the house is worth, and the government is actually even trying to negotiate right now where they are forgiving a portion of that amount of the loan to make it equal to what the house is worth now.
What about this program, Cash for Keys? Tell us about that.
Well, they've been doing it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
They were offering up to $2,500 back up to about a year ago. But it wasn't offered that much. It was just in select areas, especially with the finer homes and that. But now with all the problems that are going on, the attorney generals are saying, look, we'll offer this, keys for cash, and that's up to $21,000.
Wow.
Or you're going to be facing a lot of lawsuits.
So they'd rather give the money out, which is wise.
Yeah.
Than to lose even more money.
I think that's just petty cash.
Yeah.
And it's rather ridiculous what they're trying to do. But at least we're starting to see something happen to where these people can at least go and live like human beings and they aren't thrown out and living in a tent.
Wow.
And the reason for the Cash for Keys is they want you to keep your copper in your home.
Mm-hmm.
They want you to make sure that the walls are all up. They want to make sure it's intact.
Sure.
And when you leave, you get the cash when you hand the keys over.
Is it really difficult, Carolyn, to get rid of a foreclosure on your credit report?
Well, here's the funny thing, is most people think they can never go out and get another home after they've been foreclosed on. That is wrong. 2 years after the foreclosure, you are able to go and buy a new home.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying is that when people talk about credit restoration, how does the foreclosure come? Is that one of the most difficult things to get rid of.
Well, yeah, you can, but it takes a lawyer.
Uh-huh.
You know, and a matter of fact, I'm just waiting for something to come across that will help the people, you know, with the foreclosures, and that this will be possibly taken off of their credit because of all the illegal foreclosures. I'm not certain what the government's going to do with this, but I would think that they would be out there trying to help us at least.
Mm-hmm.
But in the meantime, we're stuck with them on there.
Wow.
Yeah.
We're stuck with them on there, and that's, what, 7 years?
It depends on your state.
Well, they'll give you a loan, like if it's on with, you know, after 2 years, but you can probably count on it being on your credit report for 7 years.
Mm-hmm.
At any
well,
rate,
here's a good piece of news. If anybody has back taxes,
mm-hmm.
there is a 10-year statute of limitations on taxes.
Well,
period.
You know, these things we have to try to overcome. But at any rate, we're going to continue this conversation, Carolyn, at another time. We're going to have you back again because it's very, very informative. A lot of people need this information. Why don't you give us your website again?
You bet. It's www.bridgetogoodcredit.com.